It's a do-over.
Just for the record, there was a Scrivener error. The Scrivener forgot to turn on the recorder and called the meeting to order at 9:01 a.m.
I'll mark that one on my, I'll mark that down, yeah.
Anna's been here long enough.
Oh, yeah, Yeah.
That's our evaluation.
Being nice guys over, yeah, that's.
Okay, I don't know, with the photo op, if there's anybody else coming, do you know, Anna? Oh, there's
Yeah, but I'll find that now.
Okay. Well, why don't we, you know, if you would, I'm gonna take a picture, you can use my phone if you want. And why don't we do it up here?
Yep. We can. Who's all gonna be in this picture?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11.
Okay. All right.
And we'll make a check here.
Write a check, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blank all the way around.
Yeah.
You have apple, an apple? Oh, yeah.
Well, of course, is there any other?
I know, all the other ones are foreign to me, I don't know how those work.
We all take our mask off if we hold our breath. Don't breathe.
Because I had, if nothing else, I had one picture, just pulled it down.
Yeah.
But let's go. Come on up here, Kristen.
Yeah.
Here we got it staged.
There, that's better.
I'm smiling.
Everyone's smiling underneath the
Right
bed?
there.
I'm actually sticking my tongue out.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to go out 4 hours.
Okay.
Okay, great. Well, thank you guys very much for the funding and the opportunity. It really, every little bit helps right now.
I hope so.
You know, it was when this whole stuff started, it was making sure our healthcare workers and our first responders had to get what they needed.
Yep.
Then it was making sure that when we goes to senior center, feeding our seniors and making sure they're taken care of. And then it was the school, when school was out feeding them.
Yep.
And then, when we finally got the money, it was, okay, we're going to our small business. And we're hoping to be able to, when we finally get all the money we're supposed to, be able to do another round.
Good.
I hope.
With us being the whole PCP at the beginning of the year, we didn't qualify. We don't have our employees until now, so. The challenge, getting the signs and that,
Yeah.
all the way around, so.
And, if you get into a pinch where you need something, contact Tracy over here at EMA. We have been helping, out.
Okay.
And you know, it's not very many, just get them to.
General, to take another picture.
Hi, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Could you
Glen's
just?
got one, if you want to.
Okay.
Glad everybody's here.
All right, one
So
more.
that-
Can
that-
I make a quick one?
Sure.
Sorry, okay.
Sure. I have, just so you know, Jen, we have a blank check here.
A blank check? How do you get one of those?
Okay, we're all smiling.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do a test one here. Do you want your mug in there?
Yeah.
You can leave it if you want.
It's important.
All right, we'll go on 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and 2 more. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. Thank you.
All you just have to do is make your eyes look like.
Yeah, let's do that. As long as they're not closed.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
As long as they're not closed.
Have a good rest of your day.
Oh, Donnell, thank you for coming over again.
Again, yeah.
What can I say?
It's a nice ride, isn't it?
It's a nice drive.
Yeah.
And
It's,
everybody talks to these farms as well.
Okay.
Okay,
Nice seeing it.
I'm sorry, so,
And,
Cedar Farms?
I talked to him last time when I was
It's
here.
yours, just okay, that's what you did.
Everybody's got to do some computers and stuff, and so, yeah, we need,
Okay. Okay, so, there's another round of money coming.
I heard that, congratulations, I think.
Yeah, and there's also money will do the local government thing.
They're the same allocation stuff.
Yep, same allocation percentage. We just have to,
We're gonna try to get these done before we get,
with the legislative
try to get these
leadership
done.
to.
You know, Saturday morning, you were getting kicked out of places for taking pictures.
I know. I was just thinking, because I talked to the crane guys when I got there, and they were cool with me being so there,
Yeah.
but apparently not so much the other guys.
Oh, well.
We've got some projects in mind.
I made it till 12:40, and then they called and said, your load is sitting here, and are you gonna do this today? Yeah. I think she's coming down in 2.5 by that
I was just
time.
gonna say, it's 12:30, so I had.
Yeah,
hours.
even now, an hour and a half yet, so. By that time, I was halfway to my destination already, so. Yeah.
Earn your money, that's right.
Thanks, everybody.
I will.
See you, Donnell.
I'll go with you, Tracy.
Okay, well,
I'll go around.
I think they're all sitting here, so you can catch Christopher.
Thanks.
Thanks, Donnell.
See ya. I'm still doing them, I'm not done with them yet.
Come on up, Will, if you want to. Okay, we've got about 5 minutes yet before.
All right.
The big award. Why don't we, Anna, why don't we go ahead, while we're waiting, we've got time, why don't we do resolution C?
Okay,
Uh,
we approve the payment to Brick Computing,
Correct.
2020 reserve student program. Okay.
We've got a resolution which is on our agenda, resolution C. It's in the matter of payment to Yerkin Paving Incorporated for 2020 resurfacing program round 1. The Board of Henry County Commissioners has hereby approved payments to Yerkin Paving in the amount of $148,649.40 for the 2020 resurfacing program round 1. Would there be a motion?
We'll make that motion.
I would second that motion.
Wonderful. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Yeah?
Jeff Snyder,
Yes.
Ron Miller,
Yes.
Bob Hostet.
Yes.
This resolution is approved. Why don't we also do, resolution F, one for EMA. There's an art to that.
I can't tell you.
I have to leave it.
Follow through.
My back is been messed up so it's
Follow
like.
through.
No, it happened on Thursday
Really?
morning when I came in, yeah, I twisted to get out of the car and I went, I was like, oh, no.
I have another resolution, reads in the matter of loan agreement between Henry County Commissioners and the Emergency Management Agency of Henry County. Would there be a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I will second it.
Okay, discussion. This is, we're going to loan $12,448.50 to Emergency Management Agency. That is, will be going towards a new forklift. We're down in the Buckeye Building. And, of course, we're using EMPG supplemental, which is you pay for it and then get reimbursed. And this is, and for you, Jeff, this isn't unusual. It seems like about every year we do it at least once.
I'd say at least once, yeah.
Yeah, at least once. Mm-hmm. It's also the same thing with EMPG. And the supplemental is money that goes back to the state EMA that other counties did not spend, so they redistributed it. And so you had a chance to,
So they said the money's coming, it just hasn't got here
yeah, you pay for it up front and then turn your invoices in and the state reimburses.
Okay.
The money's there, it's just being held in column.
Checks in the mail.
Gotcha.
Almost. Okay, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, Anna?
Jeff Myers?
Yes.
Glenn Miller?
Yes.
Al Costa?
Yes.
This resolution's been approved. And Jen, also on this 12,000, the health department is going to match that. And so the health department is partnering with us to buy this forklift.
I think they did that last week. They approved.
Yeah, at their board meeting.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's to, be down there in,
And there's a couple on the bottom there.
Oh.
I was looking for red, and they're yellow.
I went out.
What is defined as east, is that open to the public? Or is it?
Yeah, where our offices are?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mass required, you can.
Yeah. It is 9:15. We have Will Burns here from Maumee Valley Planning Organization. We have a bid to award.
Yep, we, if you remember, received bids on August 20th. We had one bidder on the project, which was Vernon Nagel. Chad Luss, the City Napoleon engineer, has reviewed the bids for completeness and appropriateness, and I think you have a copy of his memo that is recommending award to Vernon Nagel for a contract for the American Road improvements in the amount of $1,804,357.10.
Point of order, I forgot that we have this table.
You did,
Mm-hmm.
from the opening.
Yeah. Would there be a motion to remove this bid award from the table?
I will make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, Anna?
Jeff Myers?
Yes.
Glenn Miller?
Yes.
Al Costa?
Yes.
Sorry, Will, just one more time.
Sure.
And we're going to award it to Vernon Nagel for $1,804,357.
Yep, 357 and 10 cents.
You have to have a resolution ready. Sir, 10. All right, would there be a motion to award this bid to Vernon Nagel?
I will make that motion.
I will second it.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, Anna?
Jeff Myers?
Yes.
Glenn Miller?
Yes.
Al Costa?
Yes.
This resolution's approved.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for,
Yep. And I actually had the notice of award from the contract documents, but I just realized that they just have president under Henry County Commissioners, so I'll get that fixed and I'll drop it back off, so.
All right.
So we'll do that.
And then there will be probably, what, you got a notice to proceed?
Notice to proceed and the regular contract documents as well, so. All right.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
It'd
Good.
be nice to get that project.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. Yeah, we're excited to move it forward, that's for sure.
Yep, yep.
Good. And, the other question on the revolving loan fund, I talked with, Sue at MVPO. She said she stopped doing them during the 6 month where the state said that people didn't have to make payments, so there was a 6 month period for the COVID that so she just stopped doing it because not everybody's making payments, so she said she will get you one at the end of August.
Okay. So we hadn't had one until I asked for it.
Yeah.
And I will have some text in my email to see when I.
Yeah, I'll be glad to do those from now on. Just trying to get my feet under me there, didn't know what's going on, so.
There's been enough changeover outside of COVID.
Yeah.
Before that,
Yeah.
it was, there were things that just, when you have people with the institutional knowledge that aren't there.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll definitely get those back around and start doing them on a monthly basis.
Okay, wonderful.
All right?
Well, thank you very much.
Yep. And I tried to call Chris yesterday.
Yeah, and she's out until Tuesday,
Okay.
so
I was-
option 2 if you need something.
Yeah.
Try.
Okay. I did try to call you, and then I didn't get you, I don't know when it was, but, I was gonna have her set up a meeting for Wednesday, possibly, for the revolving loan fund, but we don't need it now.
Okay,
Yeah,
Okay.
potential, borrowers to hold off, so.
Okay.
We'll go from there, but hopefully, in the near future, we'll get everybody together.
all right.
All right, thanks so much.
Thanks, Will. Okay, we've got budget adjustments up there, Jeff. I guess I could have just taken control with my.
There's a few on
Okay. I think that's been sprayed with disinfectant. I know Chris said Friday before, yeah. If it has weight to it, it'll always solve it pretty easy. Okay. Oh, okay. Hope Services.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hey,
What do you know today?
Penny wanted me to come over at 9:30. Nothing else is new, other than the outbreak, so it's kind of calmed down now.
Do you want to see anything, Jeff?
No, I'm good.
All right, would there be a motion to approve budget adjustments?
I will make that motion.
Okay, I'll second. For further discussion? Hearing none, Pam?
Jeff Meyer.
Yes.
And Glenn Miller.
Yes, this resolution is approved. I bet that's for foreclosures. Yep. It's expensive to advertise.
That's the big salaries that those newspaper people just got.
For sure.
On you, right?
Yes, program income. Okay. The notice, Mark, I think it was last week, that's a lot of papers.
Oh, did you see that?
Good grief.
Oh.
It was, we saw, it was over on a Tuesday and Thursday.
Oh, yeah, and it's, so the state has been giving money to the department to do that, because one of the things that, when you can't do the home visits, and especially when they lock down stores, families were given this large, we were getting a stipend for every single family, and that was to buy diapers and to buy formula food. Well, we were able to take care of with a donation, so we had more money to buy diapers. The more unique part is, yeah, there's that solid number there. It's amazing though how many diapers can be used, and just that, if you look at the total number, how many diapers end up getting used in the, because they have to get used. It's not something that they throw, they're being used. It's amazing. We've never looked at how many children do we have in this area. Well, you look at those diapers and you can see what a family goes through per week.
Oh, yeah.
I never even thought about it when having kids, until we see the number, the total number. And it's like, wow, hundreds a week.
Yeah. When my kids were infant, we couldn't afford disposable diapers.
Yeah, what did you guys do the service? Oh.
Yeah, sort of, never mind. That could be, that could be front page stuff, but I would just assume. Good morning, Penny.
Good morning.
Hey, Jeff, did you see any of these that you wanted to, other than now that you?
Nope, they're looking good.
Stop you.
Would there be a motion to approve then and now?
I will make that motion.
All right, is there, and I will second. Anna?
Jeff Myers?
Yes?
Glenn Miller?
Yes, then and now have been approved. The Control and State Controlling Board, which is part of the Office of Budget Management, released another $175 million of the CARES Act money.
You got some money?
What's
You got
that?
all of it? You got some of it?
No, they could only, there was $850 million left. The controlling board can only go up to, I believe, for any one project, $180 million. They approved $175 million yesterday to be distributed in the same format as
First one?
the first round, yes.
Do you
So
know how
that-
much you're getting then?
Estimating countywide total, we're estimating about $380,000. And that's just an estimate.
Okay.
And when we will get that, I would think it would be available in a couple of weeks. Because it seems like once budget management had to go, the money, because all they have to do is send it out to the counties. So what I asked Tracy to do, Mark, is all of our proposed projects, even, the rest of round one as well as into round two, let's get our paperwork done. I kind of told him the ones I felt we should go ahead and get done.
Yeah, so if there's anything you need me to.
And get it through the approval process, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good. I was at a meeting last night and they were talking about CARES Act funding, and there were a couple of attorneys saying, I think that's what this CARES Act funding, we're not sure it's gonna be tied to this. And then somebody in the audience says, well, why don't you ask Mark, he's probably reviewed 200 applications, but I can actually answer that question.
Yeah. I like to, in those kind of, when I'm the one that has the answer, I like to hear all the other discussion going on and just.
I've learned a lot, when you guys brought me over, I've learned a lot from that, and it's become very intimate to me, that whole process, and just making sure it's spent wisely.
We found that the process that we use, that team, that, it's, you don't make, when you're, which is highly unusual for us to be able to have multiple pots of money, to be able to do basically the same thing with how do you maximize it. And it's kind of, I guess you said, kind of a peer group that, okay, we worked through this, and so I'm pleased with where we are. We just did a photo op with Kristen Leaders from Leader Farm, west of town.
They put an application in as well, if I remember. Yeah.
They did. And, she thanked us, she appreciated it, and I told her part of, what our plan was, making sure the first responders and healthcare workers were taken care of, then the seniors, then it became the children, making sure that they're fed after school was out, and then finally, what can we do for our small businesses? And we've been, the information I keep being fed back from the County Commissioners Association, we're one of the leaders in this whole process, outside of the big 5 counties that have their money directly.
And I don't think they spent the money directly in the same manner as those that we've done it. I think they probably had a different type of infrastructure to deal with, but when I talk to their public health, that communication is not the same.
Yeah. We're, again, like we talked, we have been very fortunate because we choose to cooperate and realize our strength is in collaboration and cooperation. I'm trying to think what, there's I'll eventually.
Symbiotic? Or?
No, I'll think of it. Eventually.
Send me a text and I can.
Yeah, but, it's where we're strong as a whole, taking the parts and working as the whole, than any of the individual parts. And that's,
Apologize for that, stepping out ahead.
okay, good morning, Penny.
Good morning.
Hi, Penny. Haven't seen you for a while.
I know, I said I needed to change the venue, and then you guys made it hard for me to get in, so.
Oh, yeah. That's a tough group.
So I'm over there asking Tracy, he goes, no, you gotta go around, and I was like, are you serious? He goes, yeah, and I'm like, I thought he was just pulling my leg, but he said, no, you just go around.
Way around.
Yeah, so,
There's no footprints on fresh cement, is there out here?
No, it's not, I was gonna say, there's no.
And the little, they usually pour 4 feet in front of, right in front of the door.
First, yeah.
Yeah, so the rest of it floats separate from that.
Okay, or,
Yeah.
I jumped in it.
Yeah,
Put the initials by
good. Yeah, put your initials next
What's
to
your
it.
name? Okay.
Are you here from me? Okay. So I have, a little bit of a report and stuff, but I did want, I asked Mark to maybe pop in. So I don't know, you guys, do we want to talk about the stuff while Mark's here? And then go on to some other stuff and the financials and that?
Yeah, let's cover.
Yeah.
So if you watched the governor last Thursday, he just makes blanket statements that senior centers, can open on the 21st, and then he goes on to say, with this and this and this. But you know what everyone heard? Senior centers
Yeah.
are opening on the 21st. So on the radio yesterday, I did my spoiler, and I said, he did say that. But he said they may open, and if this can be met. I had 3 calls on Friday with Area Office on Aging here, the Ohio Department of Aging, and then with some of the execs from around the area. And, the big things that came out of those meetings were, until we see the orders. Then I had a long conversation with Joy, and she goes, until we see the orders, don't start doing stuff until we see the orders, As of, I did not check this morning yet, but the orders aren't out yet. And they said right on some of those calls is that sometimes it takes the orders days, sometimes weeks to come out. So I just wanted to start, with what, because everyone's calling now. Well, I'm going to be the first one at the door at 8 o'clock on the 21st. And I'm like, okay. So like I said, in my radio spot yesterday, I tried to say, if and when that happens, it will look different. It could mean, and these are the things that they have told us, that it could be limited hours, it could be limited participation, limited entrances, cohorting, only by registration, that they have to reserve a spot, and so it's only services, no meals right away, and things like that. So I just wanted to feel from everyone here that we're on the same page, and, what is your vision for how we're gonna, because I'm scared. I'm just scared. I know schools are scared, and I'm scared. But I said on the radio too, I know that we're gonna be fair, but we're not gonna be equal. We know there's seniors out there that need our services far more than other seniors, especially some of them that have been homebound this whole time and rely on the public transportation to get to us. And their only communication is, with our Meals on Wheels driver at a distance now, or, with us through our phone call.
A phone call.
Yeah, so again, I'm just putting it out there. I have a plan from Wood County. I have talked to some of the other execs. Some of them have very different views on this. Wood County is going in phases, where they're going to start with a couple hours a day, appointment only. And all this depends on the orders. This is what everyone kind of is thinking without the orders being in place. So, and I know you guys probably don't know much more than I do, but what are we thinking? Do we ease into it?
I think that's
what I was looking to see. I had gotten, we get often emails daily from the governor's Northwest Ohio liaison, and I thought one of them, she had stuff attached, but it wasn't.
It was the lawn care. The last order that came out was with the assisted living, I think, and that was last Friday.
Yeah, I read that one. I read that one, but I didn't.
Honestly, I really would like to see it open, but, and that is uppercase, bold, but I don't feel comfortable. you know, I think about the 21st, we're gonna see some serious action in the county. If we're going, and, you know, tell me if I'm wrong, Mark, but just from schools,
Yes,
we're
you're not wrong. I completely agree. And with the interpretation that exists without having those orders, and really the guidance. So the order will say, hey, it'll look almost like every other order. Masking, distancing, and then what happens also is the guidance comes out. And the guidance is what gives us a starting point to be able to open safely. So when we started having conversations about schools, it's not that we would have saved ourselves a lot of time waiting until guidance and orders came out. It's just that it takes a little bit longer to plan than saying they're going to open and then the next day coming out with the guidance. So it's something that the conversation can go on. I will tell you that I know that they'll say the same orders that they would for school. They're going to look almost the same. And that would be temperatures taken before they come in. That'll be masking, that'll be distancing. And I can even point you to a couple places that have allowed bingo. And so there are certain, I've even written a bingo plan and said, okay, you know, this is what I would think that bingo would look like, even though it's not allowed to really take place in Ohio. Some places are allowing for charitable events. And those are also for our at-risk population, the ones that are coming to the senior center. So with that guidance though, when it comes out, it helps at least have us it helps at least give us a starting spot to be able to say, all right, the state said we can open safely, this is the way to do it. But it takes a little bit of the guesswork out, and we can take that guidance and tailor it to our population in Henry County, which is different than, especially very different than Wood County. And Wood County has, I mean, they've popped right a few times. They have also a bunch of different services that are available to seniors as well that we don't have available. So, because they have just multiple avenues,
Right.
so instead of just one senior center and stuff, so, and 5 times the size of them. So it's, what I'm doing is I've talked to a few people in Wyandotte, some other counties as well, to kind of look at what are they doing. Some of them have kind of allowed certain things outside of the orders that exist. And so I just kind of pay attention to what they're saying, but I was waiting for this one to come out as well, and especially with the guidance, and something we can easily work with you on when it does come out, to be able, what's our starting point to be able to allow people. It is our greatest at-risk population, and we know that they want to get out, we know that they want to get in somewhere, and it's almost just as important for them and their emotional and mental health as it is for our children at the same time. And just with those risks that are in place, I will tell you that after giving speeches at schools, and tomorrow is Napoleon, that fear that you had mentioned in the beginning, the teachers have as well, and after the conversation, they've been like, okay, all right. You know, so COVID's going to be here, we're going to have, you know, but it's a different conversation that we need to have because mortality rate is so much higher.
Well, then, yeah, I guess we just kind of wait for the guidelines.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the next step is, do you want that to be a shared plan of reopening with you guys? Is that something you would like my board to work on? Is that something that should just be staff driven? You know, again, that's where I want to know, you know, schools, you know, they had some teacher input, they had the board input and whatnot.
I think the input should come from there, is my opinion.
So if I'm working with
I was looking
Mark
to see if
and
you put
Julie and
anything
Julie.
on there, if they added anything new on the sector specific.
I would say, and my thought is, I think we're all headed in the same direction, is that you want your input from your staff. Because they're going to be just as concerned about not only themselves, but our clients.
Our clients, yeah.
And, you know, between discussion with Mark and your staff, then bring your advisory board into the loop and see if they have, you know, here's what we feel, here's what the guidance is, here's what health commissioner has advised us, here's what our staff feels, and then let us know.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, just keep us apprised.
Okay.
We do have, so I don't forget, we do have thermostat units ordered, they should be here in the next week or so.
Okay.
So we'll be ready at least with that.
With that part, yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And if, and if you're thinking it's going to be more of a controlled, letting certain people come at certain times, I think that's probably best.
I think it's best, but I just want everyone to be aware that everyone else is gonna be pissed off. You know, how come they're in and I'm not in? And that's where, I definitely don't wanna be the only one, you know, and that's where the staff will come in. And we know the people that we check on our phone calls more often. We have a couple of them that it's a daily phone call. You know, we have one that calls every day at 1 o'clock. She has that stand-in with Charlotte. We have other ones that just check in every day. They don't care who they talk to, they just call and whoever, you know. And if we haven't heard from them in a day or two, then we call them.
Yeah.
So we know. And I know there's other people out there that we haven't recognized that need that, but, you know, they haven't come to our light. So it's just, you know, we have to be diligent and go back to the ones that took public transportation, because those are really, really the ones that I'm concerned about. Now, unfortunately, we've lost 2 of them during this, just, non-COVID related deaths because, of that. So, okay. And our toenails, we've been doing those in the vestibule, and.
I woke up this morning thinking about that.
So this Thursday's at the library in Deschler, so, but we just do one at a time, and.
Deodorant, that's important. I think that is, the older I get, the more important it is, it's been hard to.
But the church won't let us in anymore.
4 weeks. September 21st, so they'll probably have the order out by Thursday.
Okay.
Thursday or Friday, just start going through it.
Okay.
Yeah, and that definitely will be the guidance there.
I think there's plenty of time. I mean, they do list some of the things, limited entry, daily screenings, baseline repeat testing, mandatory base coverage.
And I mentioned every single one of those. I read that verbatim on the radio yesterday. And then I go, there you go, Mr. Clark, that's what you can do. He goes, I will just cut that out, and that's what I'll keep playing. And I was like, all right. So.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I know how important that is to.
That's why I said, we're as excited as anyone. We want people in there.
Yeah.
We're tired of looking at this thing.
Yeah.
And Justin said, geez, that's why I said, Christy said something, you want to send a report? I'm like, no, I want to phone. So.
Humans are social animals, they gotta see each other, you can't just always look at the same ones.
In spite of what we want to think, where I see it changing is with the youngest of our young, where the dependency on electronic devices. And if, I know my 7-year-old grandson, if he could be on his iPad all day, he would be. Now he calls his other grandmothers and just, he makes the rounds, but he's playing games online, and that's pretty well. And if he doesn't have his iPad playing games, he's got one of our laptops at home watching YouTube, which is sometimes the best thing.
My daughter's thing was, can I look at the pictures on your phone? Sure. What's this game downloaded on my phone? What's this game? She turns 12 in a couple weeks, so.
Oh, yeah.
She did just get a phone in the summer, but she doesn't have it probably 3/4 of the time because she can't be trusted quite yet, but, so. All right.
We had a granddaughter just turned 12 a few weeks ago, and she just got her first phone.
Yeah, ours is her phone. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Mark.
You're welcome.
And,
As soon as it comes out, we'll know right away. And then, so we'll just probably get together and say, okay, this is kind of what it's like, just like we do with the schools. It, you know, it will go smoothly. And then, as long as the folks know that when they come there, if there's inherent risk, they can make that choice at that point. We try to do as much as we can to make it safe. At this, you know, so they'll be able to also enjoy that benefit as long as they, do those things that'll help keep them safe. And so we have a vaccine and stuff like that, so. That'll work.
okay. Yeah, that can't come soon enough, can it?
Yeah, it'll be here. Hey, are you available this afternoon?
I am, we're doing a forum training, and then when that's over, there's nothing else going on.
Okay, we were talking yesterday, Tracy, I'd like to get together and chat.
So good. Absolutely, I'll be back over.
Okay.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, Mark.
All right, I'll just zoom through some other stuff then, just to bring you up to date. We're gonna, yeah, well, and that's one of my first things, trying to Zoom with the advisory board tomorrow. We've only touched base with a couple reports since all this started. Several of them check in with me on a regular basis, and part of that is hard because the new agreement, which was really just the formality, went in, and then this happened. So I think a lot of my board doesn't know, what are we doing? What is our role now?
That's
What
a real
is this?
confusion, I can
And
understand
so,
that,
you know, so tomorrow, it's meant to be just real informal. I know probably half of the people won't be on, but I was kind of studying it to set the stage for the next one in case we can't meet in person. So I just, like I said, I've been updating with some reports, and a lot of them, you know, there's a lot of give and take, and there's other ones that I hope they're still okay, because I haven't talked to some of them in eons, so.
And if you can't, social distance, but you won't be able to in the boardroom.
Right. Well, I could have,
You've got the big, it's a lot of space that you could.
So, our next scheduled one would be the 23rd, which would be 2 days after the, you know, you're allowed to open thing, but yeah. I know several of the other counties said that even if it says the 21st, they're still looking at October 1st. They're just saying, we're just gonna write September off, and we will look towards October, which I think in my mind I would like to do too, so.
And, you know, what, even after the guidelines come out and say, okay, the 21st is a go date, things may change, start changing.
Wow.
And you know, the last thing we want to do is, okay, here's how it's going to be, seniors, when you come in. Oh, when they come in tomorrow, oh, well, we've had to change this because, and I think buying a week and a half, just to see if everything will stick, would be a good idea.
You know, and this is what throws us off, is that, you know, just last Monday, we were given the announcement and the order from the Ohio Department of Insurance that we could not do one-on-one Medicare appointments for the rest of the year. It had been till October 15th or whatever, like whenever the enrollment started, we weren't supposed to do anything. Now they're saying for the rest of the year. So that whole enrollment time, they're telling us we can't do face-to-face appointments. And so my mind's already ticking how I'm going to set up a computer in that vestibule with a table, and then they can look at us through the glass, but talk to us through the computer, and we can say, turn that page. You know, so I'm trying to find ways around that. Then they come out with this. So when we got that last Monday, I thought, this is the precursor for telling us we're closed the rest of the year. And then they came back and did this. And I'm like, if we can be open, why can we not have one-on-one appointments at a social distance with those are the people that we have to have that interaction. That is so hard to do over the phone.
You help them with their enrollment and like in their
with their Medicare and their what supplements they have, and you know. So hopefully the Ohio Department of Insurance, the ODI, will change that if centers are allowed to open. So like I said, so the governor's announcement on Thursday, I was at Wildcat Barber getting my card. and I was going back to the office to hit replay and watch the governor. My phone starts blowing up. It's a couple of our key volunteers, Donna McGee, our volunteer, or our senior of the year. I've never heard such great news. And then somebody else texts, I'm like, what the heck did the governor say? And they're like, we can open on the 21st. And I'm just sitting there, and so I did not get to enjoy the rest of my hair thing because I got back there and I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? And I was like, he said if, he said may, he said these other things. So we are still doing our weekly calls to the seniors, trying to communicate through social media, but the weekly Zoom meeting, maybe 5 to 7 people on that. Radio show, sound bites, Facebook page, it's more the seniors' kids that are our friends, you know, and our coworkers than it is the seniors themselves, but there are some. We just sent in, we should be getting it back today and in the mail yet this week, we just did a newsletter that kind of says July, August, September, so. You know, we have a few things in, we have some flyers from the health department, things that we've been, you know, preaching, but, you know, they can see it in print. We listed all 3 months' birthdays, so everyone's still got their birthday out there. You know, because we know some people that is their only form of communication with us, so. Landscaping has been slow with the heat, but if you've been out, the borders are up. Landscaping stone is almost in, and the sod is coming, and then that will just make a ton of difference once that's sod, and lack of rain hasn't helped, and then it would come. Some trees and plants will be planted till this fall, but if you haven't been out, the rock and the border is just, it's nice.
Yeah, I haven't been by for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, come out. We've hired 2. The third is just, we're clarifying something on that one to help drive and in the kitchen. We had a couple people, one left for a full-time job in Wasion. The other one told us she was retiring. We found out she's working at transportation. But that's fine. And then Karen, in the kitchen, retired, but really didn't take her retirement. We'll still sub once in a while, but, you know, it was time. And then just the other day, we lost, our other part-time cook because it's just kind of a multitude of things. She also works at Jenna Cross. Her father just passed away. She inherited some money, what she made before her and her girls were able to be on Medicaid. Now, because of that, that will take her out of that, so now she needs full-time, and Jenna Cross just happened to have a full-time. So we're very happy for her, we love her, but the ones that we hired can actually roll right into that, so I think we're okay. So we might be hiring one more, but we have somebody that's been a deli manager at Walmart in Defiance for years, and then somebody else that's worked in the nursing home in the kitchen. So, and then a very pleasant young man who is going to be a driver for us, and actually went back to school to study some genealogy and stuff like that. So, just a very compassionate young man that I might have some more plans for down the road, but we'll start him out with driving. Remember that Hail Mary, didn't you tell him?
No, I haven't told him yet.
The Hail Mary Meals on Wheels.
Hail Mary, yeah.
The Hail Mary Meals on Wheels, I said, oh, I'll just apply for this. Yeah, I got it, $49,000 for the new vehicle. So that was the one that you could only apply for if you got the first one.
Yeah.
So, I really thought it was just a shot in the dark, but it came through. So I've already ordered the truck, but we are still waiting for that first truck that we ordered in Indiana with the hot box. It's been 4 months now to get that on. So, but we do have 2 trucks over 100,000 now, and so. working with several organizations, make sure we take care of the seniors, no TAC, the food banks, Gordon Foods, the area schools, helps with storage now. We were storing some of our, chicken that we had from Gordon's and the USDA thing out at Napoleon High School. We had to get that out. So we're actually using the freezer from the dairy farmers, the Henry County dairy farmers at the fairgrounds, since they didn't have.
Somebody left.
Somebody was on.
Oh, okay. So we are using that over there. They're not charging us for that. The Fair Board is fine with that. After Relay for Life, though, they'll shut the power off, they'll leave it on for that pole, and then we'll just start covering electricity for that. So far cheaper than running something else.
Well, yeah, and it's close by, that's not so far to go.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of options.
Yeah, actually, that's good to use
Yeah,
that stuff.
so
yeah.
it was awesome, so, cookbook, will be getting set into print pretty soon, pre-order for $12, after that it'll be $15. I think the last cookbook, there was 125 recipes, this one has 300 and something, so 56 or 57 contributors, so we're excited about that. I guess the other things that I wanted to talk about are more, I don't know how this works, it's just some personnel things. So if they go off record, do we?
Executive session, is it compensation, we kind of need something,
Yes,
compensation?
yeah.
Okay. All right, would there be a motion to go into executive session for compensation of personnel?
We'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Hannah?
Jim Beck.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Yes.
We are in executive session at 10 a.m.
I don't know much else, or?
No, that's just coming in with that.
Okay, sounds good, thanks.
Thanks, Jen.
Thanks.
Thank you.
See you, Jen.
See you, Jen.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
just wrap up by saying that, you know, area office, the aging has been great. We've gotten some extra monies through those CARES Act, and also wellness kits. You know, if we know there's seniors out there that need some wellness kits, it's just a kit of things like masks and gloves and toilet paper, hand sanitizer. We have over 300 of those at the senior center, trying to decide how to disperse those and make sure they get in the right hands. So if anyone knows anything like that. But other than that, we're rocking and rolling.
Yeah, I think it's going as well as it can go.
It can go, yeah.
I think so. We are up to, thank you, we are up to averaging about 330 meals a day right now. So drive-up's about anywhere from 15 to 35, and, you know, depending on what the menu is out on the road, we can be up over 300 on that, so.
So with our, under our normal circumstances, our Meals on Wheels plus the congregate meals is looking at the number before.
It's probably higher than that, because before we would have been about right around 300. Now we're probably, about 10% more than what we were. Because we would have averaged probably 60 to 70 congregate and 220 to 230 for Meals on Wheels. So there is a need, and the seniors are taking advantage of it, and we're glad that we can do that for them.
Well, some of those people would get Meals on Wheels, and now they can't go out to eat.
Right.
You know, so they're
Yeah.
trying to get something, or
Yeah.
get a increase.
Yeah.
I've been curious about that.
Yeah.
Good.
And we encourage that, you know, we encourage them to, I know my family,
Yeah.
I have not been in a restaurant yet.
Yeah.
And I know there's not a lot of people that could say that, but I've had takeout and that, but we have not sat in a restaurant since the first week of March, so.
Okay, Penny, sure
All right.
appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the change of scenery. Now let me find my way out of here and what door I have to go out.
If you're not sure, come back and we'll walk you.
We'll escort you, yeah.
The executive session.
hot sheet for you.
Thank you.
Good.
Good. And there was no action taken.
Morning, Robert.
Morning.
Did you call me?
No, you didn't.
That's early.
On its own.
Really?
Yeah. Even about 5-10 minutes early.
How you doing?
Morning, Kevin.
Is that the same one?
It was, I highlighted it.
Oh, okay.
I did some highlights, and it's easier for them to follow on the ones I want to look at.
Feel free to go ahead and start. I'll be right back.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna unmute here. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Good thought, I forgot that, we'll keep that for. Put my jacket on, it's cold here.
Good morning. I'm here to propose collections for the 2021 taxes for the Henry County Ditch Maintenance Program. As you can see, we've got over 200 ditches on maintenance, and this is the Henry County file, the ones that are in Henry County, and of course that we are the treasurer for, keep records for. What I've done is, what I'll do is, since Commissioner Myers here kind of new to this, I'm going to kind of go across the top. The file numbers, just that each ditch has a file number, and then it has a project name. The total maintenance base, when the ditch is put on maintenance, it has a maintenance base. And that is usually the cost of the ditch when it was put on maintenance to reconstruct it or to get it to maintenance specs. Some of these ditches were put on maintenance in the 50s, 60s, so that amount is low. According to Ohio Revised Code, we can keep up to 20% of that in the ditch fund for each ditch. So of course, like that 19,266, we can keep up to 20% of that, and that's what we collect on. Then, of course, the fund balance. That's the fund balance as of 2019. the beginning, and then we collected in 2019 assessments, that's the tax year for 2020. Total cost, that's what we had in cost in 2019, and then that makes the total available between the fund balance and then the cost, and then that should equal that amount. The percent is the percent that is in the ditch maintenance fund at that time, which is according to off of the maintenance base. So there's 15% available off the Harrison ditch fund of $19,266. So we're going to collect 5% to bring that back up to 20%. Anything that is 4% or below, we don't collect on. We just let it go and don't assess people for that year.
And you've done that for a number of years.
Yeah. And then that 5%, that's the dollars we're collecting for the 21 taxes. And then estimated work is, and I should have that, I don't get that on the back. 234 is spray brush, spray cattails, and inspect. We have to inspect every ditch every year. Then I've also then as you go projected estimated balance, that's our projection that we'll have. And then the last column is if we go to dip that, what type of money it would cost, and that column is kind of it's a projection. And sometimes it's hard to project what a cost of a ditch is going to be to dip or do major work on. So by law, we cannot keep more than 20% in a ditch fund. But as you see, these highlighted ones, there's some high percentages. That's because of the maintenance base might be low, or it's an old maintenance base. And we're going to do some major work, such as a bottom dip, some bank work, rock work, and things like that. So if you look at the highlighted one, 352 Walters, 28%. And then on the right, if it's my great handwriting, you'll see that's a major project that we did, and that's why the collection is high. So we dipped that in last fall, and I think we made a collection on that. Well, that's going to bring that back up to the 20% level. That'll be holding in there. The Bible ditch, we are going to dip that this fall. That's what dip 20 means. Okay, we're collecting 65%. Sonnenberg is a very long ditch. It's an old ditch down in actually Bartlow and up to Rich. It actually runs from Bartlow up to McClure. We are cleaning about 3.5 miles of it, kind of in the middle. It's a very deep ditch. It's got some meandering back and forth from some sandbars. We're going to try and get that water straightened out so it doesn't do that, hit the banks. So I've actually had Tim Shum look at that because it's very steep along the roads. The last thing I want to do is go in and pull some dirt out and cause some bank problems on the roadside. So Lincecum, the ditch we did last year, and then also with that, there's going to be some bank work done this year. We did not collect on that a year ago, so it's at 125%, and we will be collecting all that. Some of the problems when the spring started, I thought, oh, we're going to have a good year of farming. Crops got in early.
Yeah.
Everything was great. Had all these, and a lot of these, as you see these large jobs, it's really not we don't say, hey, this needs to be done. It's usually a request from a landowner that's in that ditch or on that ditch, in that ditch watershed. We go out and say, yeah, it needs it. We understand, and we do it. And we've had a lot of requests for work, as you'll see. Dravis Tile was a tile in Napoleon Township that we fixed this spring. Smith Ditch we did last year. We're just bringing that fund back up to where it needs to be. 830 is Dunbar. We did that actually this spring. We didn't collect on it, so we're bringing that back up. Delventhal, this is brush. We did some brush work on that. We actually go in, the contractor goes in, it's larger brush that we can't keep under control of spray, so we more or less mulch it down. And then Zimmerman was a dip we did in 20th spring, and we didn't collect on that a year ago, but we are getting that back up where it needs to be. Youngman is, we dipped part of that. It's a very multiple branches ditch up in Ridgeville Township. We're doing some brushing. We've got some possible bank work we're doing, so we're doing a little bit of everything on Youngman Ditch and then trying to get that back up to where it needs to be after we dipped it last fall. Conzen is a large ditch up in Liberty Township. It's also going to do some brushing this fall. Next page, we go to Cassidy. We'll be dipping that this fall. That's in Marion Township. Coopertown's in Washington Township, and that'll be doing some brush. And then Baden Tile is a tile just south of the fairgrounds. I don't know if you know Dennis, I think it's Benin. Yes, there's a 2 large tile coming through his property. It's been in there for 40 years. It's clay tile, glazed clay tile. It's actually breaking down. We replaced the upper half about 5 years ago.
To the west.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember, yeah.
Yep, and so now, unfortunately, we were hoping that would hold on a little longer, but it's starting to break down, causing some real problems for him, so we'll be replacing that this fall, winter, spring, whenever weather allows. Going down Mangus Ditch is one we dipped last year, getting that fund back up. Crawford was a job we did. It's Ballman's out here, just off of 6, ditch is just to the east of them. It was a ditch that was in very bad shape. Sandy ditches are very expensive usually. It's hard to keep them under, and they usually get a lot of erosion. We had some large rains out there. So we actually put about, I think 700 ton of stone on this ditch in a mile with reconstructing it. So it was very expensive, and it's going to take us probably 3 or 4 years to get it back up into the black. Try not to.
Which way from Ballman's?
Right to, it actually runs along, is that, what is that road there along, just on the west side of 6?
9B?
9B, yes.
Oh.
And it just runs up to there, then it crosses right before you get to Ballman's.
Yeah.
Goes under 6.
Goes under
And then it
6, yeah.
kind of goes,
Okay.
Yeah, that's him, yeah.
so. Lytle Ditch is in Liberty. We're doing some brush on it. Bowman Ditch is a ditch we dipped a year ago, very long ditch. It's in Monroe Township. We dipped it last year, getting it back up to where it needs to be.
Where's that one?
Actually, it runs from Rodell, actually just south of Rodell, just on the east side of Molina, runs to the west of Roars's.
Okay.
And then runs straight north, went right by Jan Burkhart's house.
Yep, I don't know where it's at, yeah.
So,
Okay.
Walter Ditch is in Napoleon Township, dipping and we dipped it last year, we're gonna do some brush work again this year. On the other side where we dipped from, Armbruster, we're gonna dip this year. Bramer Ditch, we actually were able to just finish that. It was open enough, and the landowners wanted it done, so we were able to dip that. They had some weed acres that we were able to, that allowed us to do that. Mizzlemore is a very large ditch in Washington Township. It's one-sided construction, getting a lot of brush pressure on the other side, so we'll probably go in and have to mulch it back, and then we need to dip. I actually had a request from a lady. She's clear at the top end, so it's very sandy, of course, being in Washington Township.
Mm-hmm.
She said she had a horse die, and it's right at the top. There's horses in the pasture field, and she said it was from a snail that came from the ditch. The ditch is being dry. I think the horses got down in it. I don't know. This is what she told me. I didn't. So she requested it to be clean, and it does need to be clean. The only thing I'm worried about is if we pull the dirt out.
The snail's gonna be in there?
It's a good question.
From the ditch bottom
To the ditch top.
To the ditch top, which is in the pasture. I'm kind of worried about that, so I don't know if I have to haul it.
How did she come up with that conclusion that a snail did it?
I bet.
That, no kidding.
That's what she
Wow.
said. I just listened. What?
It might be bird talking to the back.
Yeah, it might be. I'm gonna let her know. I think we're gonna be dipping that here fairly shortly. And I'm gonna ask her what she thinks, and then
I wonder if a guy, put that dirt up there and then maybe put treat it with something like lime or, hell, who knows what to dry those snails up. I
Yeah.
don't know, you know.
I don't know, I'd hate for her to lose.
Yeah, so losing more horses, I mean, or whatever.
For Godey, we did last fall, didn't collect on it, we also have bank work to do. It's also in Washington Township. Meister Ditch is reconstructing a mile of ditch, so it's gonna be pretty expensive. That'll be done starting probably next week or so. A lot of stone on that. Some of these ditches just, they've been there so long and dipped so often that the banks they're not stable anymore. They go.
Yeah.
Will Mason's in Damascus Township, we dipped that this spring. Month to come, we dipped that this spring. It's actually just south of Reddick's, that's north of Reddick's farm. So, and then, where am I at? Okay, Scott Ditch, where we do some bank work on it, possible a mile dip, I'm not sure, we might hold off on that. Vergode is also part of the other Vergode ditch, so we cleaned a lot of Vergode, did that last year. It's along Road 4. Charlotte Ditch is in Monroe Township, we're just cleaning that up, we dipped that last fall. 949, as I didn't highlight, Henry County Home, we brushed that, I don't know if you guys realize that ditch that's to the east of the property out there.
Oh, okay.
We went out and mulched that, and
Okay.
really, yeah, I actually had a compliment from, I can't remember, landowner, which is just south of there. We appreciated what we did.
On 14.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't think of his
You
name.
know, I just didn't paint, was through there last week and didn't paint.
Yeah.
Have to look.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I didn't pay attention to it.
Vandenberg Ditch is just south of McClure along 65. I'm really not looking forward to dipping that. Right next to the road. I asked the state if they would, they said, no, it's on maintenance, you do it. I said, okay, thank you. That'll be this fall. Gessner Ditch is, just outside town here, a lot of, red cedars on it, we brushed that last fall. And then Brell Ditch is up in Liberty Township, sandy ditch that we're dipping this fall, did part of it last year. And then the last one is over by McClure, Culbertson Ditch, which we're going to be doing this fall. Everything else is fairly small, as you can see. We also charge, of course, administrative costs. Anytime we do work on a ditch, we charge for it. Inspection, if I go out and meet with landowners, I'll charge truck hours, my hours. Of course, our spray truck is busy. We've been very busy this summer. I'm still not sure.
We passed a resolution early in the year that sets, gives us the hourly rates on the different tasks or people.
Rates and wages for ditch maintenance.
And, we do a resolution.
So, questions, it's a lot of work, we are collecting a lot of money, some of them are higher than I like, but I feel I gotta get my maintenance fund kinda back up.
Yeah. You gotta keep.
My feeling is, I'm not sure, I've always told you guys, I always said, why raise the bases, why do I wanna keep these people's money in these funds? If we do work, then we collect.
Yes.
Some of them are getting pretty low though, I'm not sure if we need to raise them, or if you guys like that.
No,
If you like that theory, and
We haven't, since I've been commissioner, haven't heard anybody come in and say.
no, that's one thing I haven't heard of.
When you've had to, on some of those, have a pretty substantial collection. I haven't heard anybody complain.
I've been on Fulton County, you remember, they had a 400% collection on stuff.
I'm always curious, okay, how many parcels are on that? How many?
It's most of the ones on Fulton that you'll see, Glenn, are large because it's a joint county ditch, so there's a lot of landowners. So their bases might be fairly low, but still. And I know some counties, they collect on every ditch. If it's 1%, to get it to 20%, they'll collect. And I just feel, give these people a break.
Yeah.
And then also, like you said, Bob, you know, the larger collections, at least, usually we're doing work, and people will see that work being done.
Yeah, when they see what people do.
You're asking for my money,
Yeah, what am I getting for it?
what am I getting for it?
Yeah,
Right.
And usually you've got a plan.
Yeah.
And sometimes.
And I like that system,
You have to start collecting, especially if you have, you know, a long ditch doing reconstruction, you might have to start.
Right.
collecting.
And then the other thing too is remember on Turkey Foot, which is south, we also
Yeah.
have a really large collection
A
on that.
mess.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
It's over.
Wow.
It is a mess.
Yeah, what do you do?
Yeah, I just talked to Mike and he was telling me about the beavers Mike and Brock.
Again?
They think they got 4 of the 6, the other 2 are juveniles, and they're not really taking trees down yet, but, so. And then I heard, I don't know if you've heard this, they're in West Creek.
In which creek?
West Creek, which is the one west of Hamler. You know,
No, I hadn't heard
where, Lois Cressel,
Yeah, oh, okay.
that creek there.
If I heard that, no, I'm not sure, I'm not sure I heard that one yet. No, I hadn't.
It wasn't West Creek, but I heard
Maybe-
somebody had said there were a couple other places
Other
in every
places,
town
yeah.
that there were beavers.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
no, I hadn't. Yeah, it isn't just by the landfill, I know there's
I
other
think it may have been
spots.
from Phil.
Yeah.
Phil Parsons, because when I was out there this spring,
Yeah.
the signs off the
Yeah.
spring, we got talking about that, because we see the eagle's nest back by the landfill.
Yeah.
And so that kind of got into the conversation about.
I think that might be, you did say something about that. I still watches stuff.
saw a
like
couple
that.
people that have, one guy trapped a badger. I don't know if you've heard that.
No kidding.
I've seen one in my time since I've been here.
They're mean, aren't they?
Yeah, we slowed down and looked at him, he snarled at us. So,
What is the ditch on 109 from where 18 turns there at the substation, going north to like Wilma Myers?
through Myers,
Is that on maintenance?
Yeah.
It is?
that's actually Cassidy, Bob, we're cleaning the upper end of that. It turns there and goes on 18, then goes back through, oh gosh, what's the guy's name? I just met with him.
Baden?
No,
Oh, yeah.
it goes about I don't know, not 3/4 of a mile,
Yeah.
then it turns to the southwest.
Turns to the south again, yeah. Yeah. I don't know what that guy's name is.
But we're cleaning that part.
Yeah.
And then, who hit that bridge abutment? Have you seen that?
That happened one Saturday afternoon while I was taking a nap, yeah. ODOT had just put all that up.
Yeah.
Last spring, they even had the road shut off for a while because they had gone through and hit that. I don't know. It's some
I don't
woman.
remember.
It was
They survived?
No.
Yeah.
That had on to that bridge abutment?
No, that was the other day. That was in front of Ruth Bader.
That was in front of, yeah.
Yeah, that guy died, yeah, that was,
Yeah.
that was Tim Panning, but
Yeah.
this lady was, there was a lady standing there when I was going over to the greenhouse, and I thought, the hell, when did that happen? I was laying in the living room taking a nap, and I never heard it.
Yeah.
And my wife never heard it, but she went, all that brand new guardrail they just put, so the other day ODOT's working there again, I said, seriously, you're gonna set that up again? We're gonna try her again.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah.
But that actually, that ditch is,
Well, my concern about that whole thing is, the road's gonna fall right into that ditch one of these days.
that's not the only place.
Yeah, man.
But that's really,
I know-
that's
I know it's-
ODOT's situation.
Yeah.
You know,
And I told ODOT, you gotta do something there. You gotta
65, if you could travel on 65
Yeah.
down McClure.
Oh, I know, it's bad too.
Yeah.
And the same heavy trucks are running on that as they're running on that.
Yeah.
Except we get grain trucks too, yeah.
Where you've got basically guardrail right on the edge of the road.
Exactly. And that's the ditch we're cleaning. That's
Yeah.
that,
And there's no,
Sonnenberg branch.
Yeah.
and, you know, semis, one going north, one goes, there's no margin of error there.
No.
And then we got house lots along there, so we gotta haul the dirt away. It's like,
Okay. Well, that's the Cassidy ditch, okay, yeah.
Yep, that's Cassidy.
Yeah, okay. I got that book in there that you gave me a long time ago, I just don't look them up, but I should. But, that's interesting, because they're gonna have problems, ODOT's gonna have problems there. I told Patrick that, I said,
It actually, the culvert underneath, I just had my nose under there, it's not too bad. It's not full of dirt,
Yeah.
not full of a lot of silt underneath there, so
Okay.
the ditch must be okay.
yeah, oh, yeah. I think-
Downstream.
Yeah, I don't need to, it sure don't need to be dipped anymore, I mean, they're either gonna have to, they're gonna have to move it over.
I think we have to move a lot of ditches over at
Yeah,
one time,
yeah.
so.
Either that, or I've wondered if they couldn't just put a good-sized culvert in the bottom and then cover it, and if you bring it up that much, 3-4 feet, that would stop that tendency to slide, I think.
Right.
And then make that a ditch bottom also.
It must be cheaper to move them over than it is to put a culvert in.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it must be, but that don't make sense to me.
So,
The confidence of the bank along after it's been moved over,
Yeah,
I wouldn't have a whole lot of confidence in the bank, especially the new part that they've added.
yeah, yeah. Well, have you driven on the new, this is a whole different subject, on the new 24 to Fort Wayne recently?
No.
Just right after you go past the Paulding exit, the next overpass there by, just before you get to Antwerp, they're rebuilding all those off and off. Yeah. And how many years has that road been there? When did we build that road? It hasn't been that long ago. 10 years?
as I said,
At least, well, see, I've been Commissioner 8.
Yeah.
This will be my 8th year, probably 10 to 12 years
Yeah.
ago.
And they're rebuilding that one. And then the next one down, right by Antwerp, they're rebuilding that one too.
any other questions?
Yeah, no, sir. Good job, thank you.
You're welcome, thanks.
All right.
Thanks for listening.
It's exciting subject.
It's because he checks in once in a while.
Yeah, you had a complaint, guys complaining to you the other night.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
You're talking out the door.
Yeah, see, you never rest, that's the thing, county commissioner.
He didn't see me, and I said, hey, he's walking. I go, I gotta come that complaint to the commissioner. His wife was going,
Cause she was ready to go home,
He turned around and saw me.
Dave.
My grandkids will do that, and
Yeah.
all they do that.
Oh, yeah.
But it's fun to do. So I've got a resolution here, to approve, in the matter of proposed Henry County ditch maintenance collection expenses from 1/1/2019 through 12/31/2019, with, according to, we're using the Ohio Revised Code 6137.06. Would there be a motion?
I will make that motion.
I would second that motion.
Okay, for discussion, the resolution reads that the Board of Henry County Commissioners does hereby approve the proposed Henry County ditch maintenance collections expenses from 1/1/2019 through 12/31/2019 to be collected in 2021 per Ohio Revised Code Section 6137.06, and itemized schedule is attached. And
Oh, it is, okay.
it is. I don't know, you might,
Can you highlight a copy of that?
you might want to attach
Okay.
this, yeah.
Oh, yeah, attachment.
Yeah, so we're looking at a total amount to collect, in 21 of $339,506.36. Do we have a motion in a second? Is there any further discussion?
Nope, that sounds good.
Good job, Rob. With that, Anna?
Jeff Meyer?
Yes.
John Miller?
Yes.
John Costello?
Yes.
This resolution's approved.
Couple things more with soil and water. We are adding a new employee starting Monday, Abby Winsey. She's been at Wood County for 8 years, and we're fortunate to Cochran and coming over here. She's gonna be helping out with H2 Ohio. The process of all the, now we've got the application signed, now we have to have the contract signed. Then, of course, we start all the information we need from them through the voluntary nutrient management plans to what information we need from them to pay them for their practices that they signed up for. She's also very good with social media. I think I said something to you guys about possibly she's going to be redoing our website, redoing anything on Facebook we need. And if you guys need some help with that, and if she's got time, I'd be very willing to bring her in. You can talk to her.
Okay. We are looking at redoing the website, on the company that specializes in government websites, but we sure would welcome her input.
Yeah, exactly.
She starts Monday?
Yes.
Okay. We'll, I'll find out when our next scheduled meeting is.
Yeah.
And see if it will fit in, if it fits into her schedule.
Okay.
Because we've talked about it, we've, talked about it with IT. IT is not the ones to maintain a website and this and that and making, sure stuff's out on social media, but we've used that. And, so we'll see if we can, we'll take a real serious look at it and see what we can get working.
I'm not sure how much I should know that it was in the millions of dollars that we did sign up Henry County farmers for H2 Ohio. I think it's $4 or $5 million. I'm not sure I should have had that, but I guess the thing that I'm most proud of is that Henry County signed up 63% of all their farm ground through H2 Ohio, which is the highest of all the 14 counties.
Good.
So kudos to the farmers being participants and wanting to do this because it's a voluntary program. And it makes a lot of work for us, but hey, that's a good thing. Then the last thing is state match we just found out for this state fiscal year. It is actually 102%. Next year it's going to be probably looking at in the 70s. So we understand that, but we'll take the 102%. Of course, our new employee, she's under a 5-year grant through H2 Ohio that we got from ODA. And then we are still having our manure technician that he's on he's got 4 more years of his 5-year grant. So all that money has been received. It's not like they're going to give it to us every year. So that money's being funded.
Good.
So.
And drawing at least a little bit, it will draw
a little bit, yeah.
Go back into the fund.
Right, and of course, we are one of the banking counties for Senate Bill 299, which we got some money from them, because they give us dollars, and we make payments out to 5 other counties on Senate Bill 299, which is, you smelled all the chicken litter going on in the county. That's probably through that program that we pay guys to put that on.
You can always
Just a little bit about maybe the plant over by Campbell's opened back up.
Well, it was bad. It's kind of quieted down. I think a lot of
They were mad.
Yes, it is. You can.
So knew it wasn't hog manure.
No.
You can always tell when it's that crap. I passed one of them big chicken farms on the way down where I'm hauling tomatoes on Route 49 south of Wilshire down there. And it's right along the road, and I'm telling you, you can smell it when you're coming up to it, and they were loaded in them trailers, so I know that some of that's coming up here. Oh, that stuff stinks.
When that Iowa plant was,
that stuff.
that digester was, you could tell what they had been hauling in.
Yeah.
When they had been hauling from the tanks at the dairy farms. They had kind of a weather you need. Then if you throw hog manure in there, it was just.
It was.
When you got the combination of all of it, it was about all that you could eat from.
Yeah, but it's sad, that thing's sitting there, nothing going on, is there?
Yeah. It was a good thing.
It was a good thing,
Mismanaged by.
Yeah.
That's a shame. That's such a good idea.
Good way to make electricity.
Yes, it is.
It's clean.
I don't have anything else unless you guys have something else for me.
We're good. For voting, are you having
No, we declined on that with everything going on. Well, we do have 2 weeks are open to come in and vote during office hours.
Okay. We have a lot to vote on.
Just the commission, we have 2 commissioners. We have, actually Kent Sonnenberg and Joel Meyer running again.
Okay.
And then Logan Hockey, who's the agronomist specialist, head of the agronomy at Legacy. So I thought that was a pretty good guy to get to run.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah.
So.
You say he's an environmental specialist?
He's the agronomy, he's actually head of agronomy for Legacy.
Legacy, that's right, that's what he does, yep. I really don't know him that well, I just know that's what he does.
So.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, thank you.
Okay, Bob, thank you for coming in.
Sorry, I took somebody's phone.
You started late.
I did, thank you.
We'll stay
Good one, guys.
See you next time.
We do have Fulton yet, which will probably be the next, I'm gonna have mine, I've got mine done, I'm waiting on them. If they don't call me within 2 weeks, I will.
It'll be October.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. I know.
No big deal, we'll do it in October.
See you guys.
Yep, see ya.
No big deal.
Yeah.
I was gonna comment, I'm glad you did. It's like, originally I was set for 11, and then I was instructed to show up at 10:45. It's Anna's world, we just live in it.
Yep.
We do what she says, so.
Yep.
Responsible.
Well, good morning.
Morning.
I just have a couple of quick things here to go over.
Okay.
First thing is, we're set to give out the budget sheets. You guys okay with the letter as I wrote it? Okay, I just get your opinion, because what it says, there's nothing over the top on it, but considering the history of what we would do for our budgets, there's probably some grumblings or comments about it, so,
Yeah.
it is what it is, but I think the way it's worded, we're sort of, as this has been a popular thing lately, you're sort of kicking the can down the road on the decision on some of the things for the budget. So, and I think that's the case here, but we have to see how our revenues are coming in.
I think so too.
On a good point for the revenues, we saw that sales tax was up.
Yeah.
That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Our tax revenues were pretty solid. That's a good sign. Then you hear stories of the casino, that now that they're reopened is a good sign. I don't anticipate being down 92% like we were last time, but it's hard to gain revenue when you're closed, right?
Yeah.
With that, so I just think we'll do the monthly report for the general fund at the end of this month, and we'll see where we stand at there.
Okay.
For one thing.
Yep.
And then I think when we see a more of a trending model with sales tax next month, when does that come out? Casino tax is October, is our last one, I think, and we see where that's at.
Probably,
We'll get a clearer picture of where we stand at
Yeah.
as cases go on and stuff with us.
And by the end of October, we should know about our hospitalization too, healthcare.
Yeah, and thanks for mentioning that, because that was also part of that too, you're right, with that, and those decisions will be made. Okay, couple other things then I have. I'm gonna make a suggestion that we should set up a Lady Justice capital improvement fund. We don't need to do that today, but I think that we should set that up, and I would need a resolution from the commissioners to do that. This is quite a large project, and it's going to go on for 3 years. This is not just general capital items that we would have, that we plan on paying out of the capital improvement, but I believe if we set up that fund, and then we could capture that cost specifically for there.
Yeah.
And then we could transfer the money that we anticipated that come in, in that capital fund in there. And I read in the paper, correct me here, what was the number, like 850,000 for 3 years or something, or 900,000, something like that? 950 or something like that.
You know, that we're not gonna hold true to that number, it's construction and all that, but because that is a specific project and it's gonna go on for a few years, I believe we should do that. And then that way, as what we can do is at the end of each year or throughout the years, if there's funds available, we could draw that out, because really our anticipation is to pay for that out of our county general funds, either carryover or if we have some other money that comes in. So I think if we set up that specific fund for that, we haven't really paid any expenses out of that yet. So if we have, they've been very, very minor, so that's fine, but that way we can keep tabs of how that goes.
I don't
have a problem with that.
That's a good idea.
That's a good,
Yeah, and.
good fun to call it too, you know.
There's 3 phases. It's not, and it's not necessarily year after year, or not consecutive. It may be, depending on
We might have to skip a year in there.
where we're at, we may have to skip a year or skip 2 years. And ideally, we'd like to do it, you know, 3 years, have the exterior done in 3 years.
Yep.
We'll just have to see how it goes. And that's how it was proposed to us, and now Bill and Andrew were the ones that.
So like, for example, the bidding that they had for the work that they're doing now, that's a contract, you've accepted their bid, and so that's like phase 1, right? And then when we do the next bidding, and then the next bidding, then that encompasses in that fund, and we just see where we're at.
Right.
Because we're speculating right now, and we know at building the age of what we have, which is in very good shape for, I think, but they're gonna run into some things that they might not have been aware of at a later date, but we do need to just be cognizant of that and just keep track of how much that costs us with that, so.
Well, and we've got the ability in the accounting system that we've got now to easily set up accounts and track these, and I'm all for that. I like to see project costs and.
So we know
You know, where
we are, so we can look it up and let you know.
So, again, suggestion would be, again, not today, I mean, next Thursday or Tuesday, I would just request that you guys create the, you know, you could call it,
I think
the new Lady Justice Fund, or the Lady Justice Capital Fund, or something like that, and for that project, for the ongoing project.
I think we have an account, don't we also have the account number in the resolution?
If you want to, I can give you what account number that'll be.
Why don't we also do that?
Okay. Now let me shoot. So it would be the fund account number for residents.
And there's resolutions.
Okay.
I mean, it's just that we have to have, we can't just make them up, it's gotta go. That's one of the things, the state auditors come in and they say, any new funds, and then they want the documentation. I know, we got that.
We can back it up, the account number that's in the accounting system matches the account number in the resolution.
So then the third item that I have on here is, I think it was on your agenda today, about advancement of money or loaning of money. In the last couple of weeks, we've had 2 incidences where I don't know how this takes place, but I just think we just need to formalize it and just and protect all parties with that is that, you know, out of unanticipated or someplace in the general fund, I need a PO for this, and X amount of money is going to pay for it. Sort of had some red flags on there. When we advance money for grants, like was on today's, I don't know, have you guys done that yet? Okay. So it just, that's the paperwork and the process that we need in place to get some of these things paid for reimbursement, is that we need to follow, like the revised code talks about advances of money, and it's not a problem that we do that, but it just protects all parties, and you know, it's not just someone goes to the clerk and say, hey, I need this, and Bob said it was okay, or however. So this here just, you know, in a case like this, possibly, and the EMA should do a formal request for advancements to the commissioners. And with that, just maybe a letter, and then the commissioners do a formal resolution of the advancement of that money to them. I would suggest, because it does have to be short-term, and you know, I trust that the money's gonna get paid back. There's no issues with that. But again, it's a matter of just officially protecting all of us with that.
Yeah.
And, you know, even put a date on that if possible. And we try to keep that within the same year if possible, but when we get to the end of the year, at least some date, and it could say something in the lines, upon immediate receipt of funds, it gets paid back, or by 12/31/2020, whichever date is sooner. And if it doesn't come until January, then you just extend it with that. But that holds the expectation of both parties in hand with that.
Yep.
So.
That'll work, we're just fine tuning what we.
Fine tune what we're doing,
Yeah.
That's all we're doing.
Are we worried about the money? No.
No.
But
No, but we've got the paper trail.
you got
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking, paper trail, so we know, so we don't forget. Lest we forget, we remember all that stuff.
The black books.
Yeah, that's what
You know, for example, like the airport loan. When we paid that out beginning of this year, I'm like, who decided this? And then Katie Nelson reminds me that was like 6 months ago in the previous year. She showed me the resolution. I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay, yeah,
You know,
yeah, I know.
that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, if you approve it today, and again, we run into it like 2 months from now, you got to spend the money, or the bill comes in.
Yeah.
It's just, it helps everybody with that and keeps that in track. So.
Yeah, somebody's gotta keep track of it, that's for sure, yeah, you know.
So it'll just be for Ann and Christie, the next time, we'll let them know next door, and they won't forget though.
Right.
It's part of their procedure, but if we do it with anybody else, it's.
Yeah.
And then, again, when I talked to Christie about these, she's like, well, I was told to do it. Okay, that's fine, because we create a purchase order, you know, it protects her too, that she's not stuck in the middle.
Yep.
So.
Should have that one time.
Anything for me?
Getting some more money.
Yes, you sent that to me, and then I got it from a few other sources. And then I read more today about, you know, why the 175 million, because they're capped at 180, and so we might even get some more. And I don't know a time frame. I think usually we'll probably all learn about the same time of that.
Yeah, I would think since this is within ODM, that it can move quickly. The rest of it, the 680 million that's still out there, is going to take a while.
Yeah.
I believe they should call the legislation back and get this taken care of.
Which legislation?
The state.
The state
of Ohio. I felt that, well, one, they need to, the recouping of money, the money coming back in that was never asked for. The distribution model needs to change. And I think a larger percentage of that redistribution goes back to the county. Since in many cases, the county has taken care of a lot of this stuff for the townships and the villages. Not a big deal, but that prevents probably any money going back. And the funding, the local government funding formula, I'm fine with. You know, they needed to come up with something, and instead of reinventing the wheel, just
do it. No, that's
what
okay.
you got. Yeah.
I think a couple things that's gonna happen with the money, and this is all speculative at this point. I'm gonna estimate that initially we're gonna get $225,000. And how I came up with that is they said that we should probably get about half of what we got. We got $902,000. So you take that divided by 2, multiply that by 50%, and then that gets us to 225. Because they're gonna use the same formula as they did before. And what I read already this morning is that they do not need to do another resolution.
Right.
But those entities that have not taken the money the first time, they still have an October 15 to take it, but they can't take the money the second time because it's the same resolution. All that changes at this point, unless I hear otherwise, is that if all the townships got $8,329. If a township didn't take the money, well, all they gotta do is pass a resolution before October 15th, say I want that first round of money, and since you got second round of money, I'll take that too. And so if you take their formula, they're probably gonna be issued out about 4,000, a little over 4,000. So does that entice those that didn't take it to call and take it? I don't know. If they haven't taken 8, I don't know if they'll take 12. Some of them just don't wanna mess with it.
Well,
That's up to them.
they don't have enough stuff.
And they're circling with what do we
spend it on? Yes, yeah. Because, you know, your hands are tied a little bit as to what to spend it on. You can't just go out and buy a new truck for your township or a new fire truck or anything like that. You have to spend it on something that's related.
Which for us, I really, looking at just us, we have enough stuff, even with that 680 million out there, to put that we can use to put a huge dent in.
Yeah.
It's gonna be one-time stuff.
Yeah.
We just have to be careful that we can do stuff that we can afford to sustain.
There you go, that's a very good.
We don't wanna do stuff that's gonna add to our overhead.
We could turn around and hang ourselves here with free, you choke yourself with free money, you know, yeah.
Free is not free.
Free is not free, yeah, nothing is free, that's right.
It will come at a price.
Yeah.
But when you look at the stuff that we have over the years talked about doing, taking care of the doors, making them more, accessible.
Yeah.
Now they're pushing, not only do you make it, we'll make it handicap accessible, we'll make it touchless.
Yeah.
And so there's, a rare opportunity.
Yep, and I think that for like doors and stuff like that, now's the time to do it, yeah.
Well, they're also one-time cost.
Yeah, and those are
They're
one-time
one-time
costs.
costs. It's not like you're purchasing something that's gonna cost you X amount of dollars a year.
Down the road, yeah.
And recurring costs on that stuff, is really low.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
At this time, out of the 900 and whatever that number is, 902,000, a little over 80,000 has not been claimed for the county. So that October 15th date, as long as the county encumbers all their money, because right now we're still at around 50,000, but we've got a month and a half, we're fine. Then we get 25% of that. If we want, we can claim it if we want. So 25% of that is we get another additional 20,000 out of the first round money, if nobody else claims anything. And then after that, the additional money, so the rest of that 60,000, can be dispersed amongst the entities that took money the first time. There's going to be clarification on that later, but I'm understanding it's at the same percentage breakdown of what it was dispersed at this point. So,
That's good, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I know Deshler would use it.
You'll find something.
They're really, just technology-wise, they're
You're gonna try it?
making a change.
Good.
In what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Not only with
if I had to guess, I would guess the three largest cities and villages, Gushler. Liberty Center was one of the first ones to ask for the money. Napoleon was one of the first ones to ask for the money. I don't know where they stand at for spending that, because that's on them to do that. And as long as they have means of spending it, I would certainly say the city of Napoleon, the size city they have, and, you know, fire department, a police department, and expenses.
Well, and then I think part of it was for some extra, temporary personnel, on fire department and,
So some of the townships may or may not take the money, because also too, if you don't have it encumbered by October 15th, you gotta give it back.
yeah,
So there'll be delay on getting that money, you know, who actually brought stuff back.
yeah.
But it's also going to have to be encumbered on spent.
When I found out that, the controlling board went ahead and approved that money, you know, they had like 98 or 99 items on their agenda. Their meeting started at 1:30, and I don't remember what time I got the letter from CCAO.
Yeah,
So I figured there's probably about a half-hour lag in between.
yeah.
They must have, it would be interesting, to know how they do whether they take an agenda item by agenda item, or
They lump a whole bunch of them together?
just, you know, lump the whole thing.
Yeah.
I know.
So you sent it out to me at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, I already had it for a while.
I don't know. That's a lot of items on the agenda.
Yeah,
Well, I pulled up I was just curious, would hear Hoots always talking about the controlling board and doing this and this and this, so, okay, well, let's see if there's an agenda out there. Sure enough, there was. I thought it said it was going to be on the Ohio Channel, so we checked the Ohio Channel, it wasn't. But I mentioned to Tracy, we have a number of some projects yet for round one, and then looking at our round two. I think what we talked about yesterday is going ahead and getting some of this stuff through the approval process.
Yeah.
Get it all approved, everybody signed off, and we just have a stack of approved projects sitting there. And then as the money's available, we choose out of that what we want to go with.
Just, get them lined up, and
Yeah.
if we get them, good, if we don't, oh well, it didn't take that much to set them up, get ready for it, most likely it'll come.
And once that approval process comes, because I'm the last one, when it hits me, then I put it on that spreadsheet that I've been sharing at least once a week out to everybody. And then that way we can see who's paid, how we paid what.
Yep, I like that.
And I've been talking
Keep
about
an idea.
the purchase orders. We sort of started off with some blanket ones, and we've changed a few of those that we can see purchase orders specific for other things. And what we've also found too is that this holds people somewhat accountable, because we've had a few items that once the bill came in, they were a little off to what we initially signed for.
Forget shipping, forget some other things.
Or upgrade something, and let's throw that in, and that's fine, but that's not what everyone signed off on for. And, we could have some wiggle room in there, but to me, it should go back through the process again. Or they pay for it out of their funds.
Which has happened a couple times
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. But right now,
Over on the other side of the firewall.
Yes, you're right, yeah.
But that has not been, okay.
All right.
But we had, the last thing this came through is 10 scanners on 8/18, so that was last week, for 20,000. And I have here, that's not come through me, is we have $52,173.89 still out there remaining. And that scanners is the only things that we've not paid for yet.
They're the furnace scanners.
The furnace scanners.
Yeah.
So,
Tracy mentioned something about yesterday, the company wanted him to send a check, and he said, well, when we receive the merchandise, we'll send a check. And they didn't have a problem with that. In fact, that those standalone thermal scan units. The one they sent to us, it was not the one that we bought. We had bought thermal scan units, freestanding unit, and you could walk up to it and either do your wrist or your forehead, but there was supposed to be a sensor on the side, so somebody in a wheelchair, child, could easily, well, it only came with one. So Nick called him and said, well, your website says this.
Yeah.
Oh.
Somebody didn't know what they were doing.
Send it back and we'll replace it.
That's all I got.
Okay.
Okay, Kevin.
I think I'll just set up a meeting sometime beginning of next month, and we'll discuss where we're at a little bit.
With the budget, okay.
And we'll proceed from there.
Yeah, I was just thinking, what do you think, Bob? We just have Kevin send the budget sheets to Jeff and
Let him do them, yeah.
work through them all.
Done, already done.
Yeah, I got that done, I'm done.
Well, yeah, probably, we go through town smiles.
Yeah.
We'll help you out.
Yeah, so between that file and the two of us stuff that we have written down, we should,
We'll figure it out.
we'll get it figured out.
It's really easy. Auditors get 50% increase and everybody else gets a negative 5.
Yeah.
And we're good.
Pretty much on that.
Kevin, you laugh about that, but for years, not the auditors 50%, but they just did 3% every year on a lot of them. Just increase everything 3%, after a while.
Well, that was, we did that at the city.
Well, I
There
will.
was so much fluff in there that
Yeah.
it was.
I will go back to the true thing that saved us, and this goes back to when we had the recession 10 years ago, where the sheriff was the #1 realtor in the county, and, that was really a hard time financially. We have a hard time now with COVID. Financially, it's a different story, I'll just say that.
Yeah.
That additional sales tax. It saved us from that recession.
Yes.
Put us in a positive cash flow currently, it still does. That will not stay like that for forever, but we are also a few counties, or I'll just say as Henry County, our levies, like we have Hope, we have Senior Center, we have items like that, but we don't have a sheriff levy.
Yeah.
We don't have a JFS levy.
Yeah.
And if you look at our budgets, the money that we appropriate to those, there could be, and I'll say could be, a time that we need to have a JFS levy or one for safety services or something like that. And then you let the voters decide on that, but we're not there yet.
We're not there.
At all.
Well, another could be is landfill, if we don't have, hopefully we'll come around now, we added that extra $1 fee on, but someday, in the time I'm here as a commissioner, probably not gonna happen, but right shortly after that,
Yeah, we'll know in
Yeah.
a couple of years.
Yeah, we should know in 2 years, yeah.
Collecting
Yeah,
at the
in
city.
2 years, that's exactly right,
We can
yeah.
just go revenue neutral.
Yeah, all we gotta do is go revenue neutral would be good, yeah. There's things out there, Kevin, I agree with you, that it could happen. Right now, we're in pretty good shape,
Yeah, and I agree, and we've talked about that a lot over the last 7.5 years about how fortunate we have. What our saving grace has been that additional.
That additional sales tax, oh, yeah.
Additional sales tax.
Yeah, if you take that off of there, that would make a big difference.
Yeah, because I had a commissioner no longer here comment to me off the record before, in his office.
Yeah.
He said, what about if we roll back that sales tax? And my advice to them is we would roll back the millage, which we have.
Yeah, yes, we've done that.
The inside millage, because sales tax, every consumer pays.
Yeah.
You drive to Henry County and spend money, you pay.
Yeah.
Where the millage is,
People that live
give a
here.
tax break to
The people that live here.
those that live here and
Own
own property.
Own
But not
property.
just that, I mean, renters pay
It's true, roundabout way,
They pay their
Yeah, they
rent,
do.
you know,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah,
so it's, you know,
Yeah, they pay.
never touch the sales tax.
yeah.
No, and, yeah, because the first, instinct is, okay, well, we could cut that back, which we could.
And if you do, I believe you gotta go back to the voters to get it put back on, and you don't, and again, and that one, everybody pays as a consumer. You may not like it, but you pay it as a consumer. Somebody, again, stays at our hotel, we have 3 truck stops, soon to be a 4th truck stop. A lot of people pay that to have nothing to do with Henry County.
Yeah,
They drive and stop by.
Yep. And if you don't believe me, sit out there and watch it. My God, they're full all the time, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
They're full all the time.
All right, we'll keep doing what we're doing.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
I've got, when you walk outside, I got a question for you, and then I'll be back to do this.
Sure. Do you have anything to add?
No, we just have to do budget adjustments, and then now we haven't done them yet. We did? Before I came in?
want me to open?
When you were on the phone.
Oh, when I was on the phone? I'm sorry. That was Sheriff Engel, and I had to talk to him because
Okay.
I didn't know we did them. Okay, then I'm gonna mark them off. I didn't know. Okay, but they were done. Well, then actually, no, I don't have any.
And to let you know about, the committee that you're on.
She probably won't, she's probably scared to tell me.
You need every day, Bob, every day.
Every day, yeah, I know.
6 a.m.
No, we got that taken care of.
Okay.
We didn't do anything else with the rest of the regular bills, if you did have that done.
I had them done. I finished them. I will check them again before I leave, make sure they're there. Yeah, okay, thank you.
There wasn't anything really unusual.
Okay.
And then and now, there were some budget adjustments, especially from Hope Services.
Oh, okay, okay.
So, if you don't have.
That's why that isn't here, then that's why it's over there, okay. Yeah, I'll explain that phone call to you when I get back in here then, because that's got nothing to do with this.
Every day. Okay, see you, Kevin, thanks.
Thank you.
We'll have that resolution.
That is Bob.
That account, yeah. Oh, Lady Justice account. Do you have anything?
I do not.
I took Prince and Calvin, we were out there. Lady Justice.
Wow. Yeah.
Ooh, she feels funny. Yeah. To think that in laying beside her in the trailer that she was sitting in, is the wood that was in that timber that was in the center, that was over 140 years old, that just, it's just, but you can see where, she's starting to tilt towards the south, towards the river, and you can see where she's beginning to buckle, and hard telling how long. It was just, it's going to be different, but it wasn't worth the risk for something like that.
Well, then if she breaks, it can cause other damage.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah, through the town, and through.
Yeah.
Walks in some woman and her head sticking in the hallway while he's going back to his office. That'd be something that hurts you, whoa. But, I thought, and I don't know if you said something to Joel and Andrew, but I told him, I thought it went very, very well.
Yes.
Of course, there's a few odds and ends, it's sort of process now. The crane got there late, it took a little bit longer to set the crane up. And then she didn't want to come loose right away, so right before they lifted her, Bill's up there, her arms over her. But she was all supportive.
Yeah.
So her arm wasn't going to go anywhere. But he is I think we can budget-wise to the next 2 years. That way Andrew will do that. Hate to hear the bills that come down. I'm staying in Hawaii.
What happens soon?
That's when he's 60, he's 60. All right, if there's nothing else to come before the Board of Henry County Commissioners, would there be a motion to adjourn?
I will make that motion.
Okay, I will second. Anna?
Jeff Myers?
Yes.
Sean Miller?
Yes, we're adjourned at 11:36 a.m. Eva.